Kansas Kitty, and I welcome you back to my journey. I had the RNY gastric bypass surgery on June 25th, 2018, so this marks my 41-week post-op update. I started off my high weight at 238 pounds. I'm 5'6". I'm 39 years old, and last week I came to you and I weighed 140 pounds. Today, I come to you for the 5th week in a row at 140 pounds. So, not seeing a lot of change recently. I am 98 pounds down. My maintenance range is 138 to 145, and I'm at 140. I did see the scale go up and down quite a bit this week, and I made some very not mindful decisions. I was a little piggy. I was a little oinker, and I just ate and ate and ate, and was kind of doing that emotional eating, probably a little bit of binge eating, probably a little bit of food addiction going on, compulsive eating, just not making smart decisions. And sometimes I feel like when you're having, a really, you're just strong and you're doing great and your weight's not changing, you start to feel a little invincible. And that is probably a little bit of what I felt like. I was like, well, I can kind of eat whatever. I'm still running it off and, I'm going to be okay. Well, giving myself a maintenance range and seeing that weight begin to go up was enough for it to kick it in high gear. I was like, I need to bring it back down. And so started eating a bit more mindful again later in the week, saw the scale go back down and sit back at 140 today. So that maintenance range is a really great thing to give yourself. I definitely believe that is not something that I have given myself in the past when I've dieted over the years, and I like this. I like having a range, and it is a 7-pound range, which is probably higher than others, but for me, that 7 pounds, I have seen my weight fluctuate as much as 7 pounds in a week during that time of the month. It is my time of the month right now. I started my period yesterday, and usually the week prior to my period starting is when I get the munchies like crazy. And unfortunately this time, I wasn't making good munchy food decisions. I was going after all the junk. And I already know at, 9+ months out what I can get away with. And so I can eat some little sweets and treats. I know not to go too insane on them because I will dump. I've learned that. But if I stagger them out, I can kind of graze, and I can graze and graze and graze. And it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't really matter what weight, what number is on the scale. When you're out of control, you just don't feel good. When you're in control and you wake up the next morning in bed, you're like, I made some really smart decisions. You just feel mentally energized and you feel great about yourself. When you're not making mindful decisions, you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh, why? Why did I let the food addiction control me? Why did I let it happen? And I had a morning this week where I woke up and I was feeling a bit sore because I did experience a fall last weekend during my run. I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? You can't see it in this light. I was really bruised up on my arm. I was bruised up on my knee. I hit my hips. I pulled my glute, and I woke up one morning and I was like, I don't want to run. I don't want to run. I've got like 3 girls that are waiting on me. I don't want to run. I'd made poor food decisions the night before, and I just felt lousy. And I texted them. I was like, hey guys, I just can't get going this morning. And I canceled on them. And then I got some extra rest, which I was happy about. But then I felt really, really guilty for not getting up and running and meeting my girlfriends. And I think a big part of that was because I just felt lousy because of the food that I'd eaten the night before. And so I did go ahead, and as I was getting ready for work, I was trying to calculate how much makeup time and mileage I needed to do the rest of the week to make up for that lost run that morning. And I thought, screw it, I'm gonna pack my bag and I'm gonna go running at lunch. And it worked out great. It was a slower day. I put on all my running clothes. It was nice out. I went on a nice like downtown Kansas City run. Really enjoyed the change of scenery and the pace, and felt so much better about myself. Most of us that are in this weight loss surgery community are here because we struggle with food addiction of some sort. And the effects of certain foods on the brain make it really hard for some people to avoid them. It's not always a lack of willpower, but the results of the dopamine signal that affects the chemistry of the brain. So what do we do about it? It's important to maybe remove some of those trigger foods, those foods that just make you want to have more and more, and that those foods that just make you feel so dang good in your brain, you know, when that dopamine is released. Addressing the real issue. Are you emotionally eating? What is lacking in your life that's making you want to eat and feel good from food again? For me, typically the week before my period, there's usually one particular day that I'm just feeling really, really low. And this happens monthly. And sometimes when I'm feeling low on that day, I'm like, in that moment, I don't always connect the dots and know, oh, my period's about to start. I just feel really low and I get emotional. And I had a day this week where it was actually my parents' 49th wedding anniversary. And I have been experiencing through work, our founder has been absent for some time because her father has suffered a stroke. And just having kind of been in communication with her and knowing what's been going on there, and my parents here celebrating 49 years, which is amazing and such a happy moment, made me kind of take a real look at them and realize how lucky I am to still have them in my life and that they're healthy, but to also know that they're not going to be around forever, and I cannot even imagine a day without my parents. I love my parents so much, and they have raised the four of us, and I just can't imagine a day without them. And so celebrating them, their 49 years, was actually kind of a mixed emotion day because I was so happy for their love and their blessings and everything that they've taught us over the years. But at the same time, I was so emotional. I just kept crying. I just the thought of not having them around. I know it's silly, but it was an emotional day for me. So that was kind of my low day, and I was comforting myself with food and not even knowing it. The next day, I actually felt so much better, and that's when I got my period, and I was like, oh yeah, this happens every single month. Just be ready for it. It happens. One thing that I did want to mention, that for the RNY gastric bypass patient, when you're eating food that you probably shouldn't, or also when you're adding more carbs in, it's traveling through your system so much faster, and you're gonna poop. You're gonna poop like the next day. A lot, especially if you've had a lot. And so it's not, my weight is not being affected as much when I do have those kind of, not so mindful, junky kind of food days, because it's going through me. It's going through my system. And so it's kind of an awesome thing, but at the same time, it's not, it doesn't feel good mentally to eat like that. So I know I need to get that in check. One of my really, really sweet subscribers mentioned she's in her 50s and she felt like having this surgery was kind of her last chance to get this food addiction right, to get this right. And just that comment, reading that, made me super emotional, made me cry, because I think we're all, when we've gone to the extreme of getting weight loss surgery, we're at that point where like, this is my last chance. This is all I can do. I've got to figure this out and get it right. And we're going to struggle. We're going to continue to struggle because we have a problem. We really do. And I am the first one to fess up that I have a food addiction, and it's going to be there, and I'm going to have days where I struggle really bad. I might have weeks where I struggle really bad, but there's always a brighter day, and there's always a stronger day around the corner, and we can get ourselves back up and keep on going. We have that tool now. We have that amazing tool, and we just need to utilize it. I did hear back from KU Marketing, so the hospital that wanted to get in touch with me and do some, kind of story or some kind of marketing on my success story. And I pretty much decided I'm not going to do it. So it was really flattering. It was really nice to talk to them. But if I had decided to do what they want to do, basically they want to do like a photo shoot of me. They want to do a video of me running, like maybe running with my girlfriends. And this is like a dream come true. Like, hello, I would love to do a photo shoot. I would love to do a video about running. Running's my passion. But by agreeing to all of this, you're basically handing over the rights to them that they can use this material not only locally, but nationally. And they said that if the news gets a hold of it, they'll probably bring the news in. And I don't want that much exposure on me. I don't want it. And they are a nonprofit, and so there is no payment involved with it, which, I talked about that in my last video. And although I would love to be able to help, more people, I want to keep it at a targeted audience. And that's why I like YouTube, because I am surrounded with this amazing community. Can I just say, you guys are incredible. This community is so positive, and I think that is honestly a trait of the type of people we are. We struggle with this weight and this food addiction, and we're kind people. We're sweet and kind people inside, and I love this community, and I love being able to share my story with you and encourage, just get all of this positivity and encouragement from each other. And I want to keep it there. I want to keep it targeted within this community. I do not want exposure on my local news or have this go internationally or whatever they were saying. I'm not ready for that. So the lady that I spoke with is super nice. She does know my company very well. She knows the people that work there very well. And I told her I have been very quiet about sharing that I have not shared it with the people that I work with, that I had this surgery. And she said, well, if we decide to move forward, you'll be signing, a full non-disclosure, and just everything that she was going to send over for me to sign. But anyway, she said, why don't you just mull over it for a couple weeks, and I'll check back with you in a couple weeks. And I said, thank you, thank you again. I so appreciate this. I'm honored and I'm flattered, and really, I really do appreciate this. And I did share some of my hesitations with her, but I told her I would think about it, and I'm already at the point where it's not something I want to do. I want my new goal to be that I will lose 100 pounds total. I'm just 2 pounds away from that at 10 months post-op. That will be this month, at the end of this month. I think it's doable. I have been sitting at that 140 pound mark now for 5 weeks. I can lose those 2 pounds. I know I can do it if I become disciplined and super mindful, and I just go for it. So my goal is going to be that I lose those last 2 pounds, and that I drop 100 pounds down, which is my ultimate personal goal, at 10 months post-op. I think that has a pretty sweet little ring to it. 100 pounds lost at 10 months. Just a couple quick random updates. I did not have a period last month. I did have a period this month. I believe that sometimes Hormones can kind of change when you have weight loss surgery, but also I have experienced this years and years ago when my weight got really low. I did not have consistent regular periods. Also, with a lot of the running, that can kind of change your body and put some stress on your body, also causing you not to have periods. Granted, I don't have much of a period at all. I might have spotting for a couple days. I have like nothing because I did have the ablation several years ago. So it's not bad at all. I do still experience the hormonal changes though during the week before my period. Night sweats. I think I've talked about night sweats, I believe, in a video before. I still haven't triggered what is causing night sweats. I experienced them last night. And I'm not talking about just being like hot and needing to put the fan on. I'm talking about sheets are drenched, pajamas are drenched, soaked. And I am not certain why I experienced this sporadically. If you have experienced this, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. I have a few ideas. It could be age. I am getting older. I'm 39 years old now. It could be something to do with surgery, possibly. It could be me having junk, eating some junk food this week and my body is removing those toxins in the evening. It could be that I'm premenopausal already and I'm not sure. So I am going to track it. And I did start my period yesterday. I had the night sweats last night, and I'm just going to throw it on a calendar and kind of track it and see when it happens again. I know that during your period also, your body temperature seems to run a little warmer, and so maybe that's it too. I'm not sure. I am experiencing hair regrowth, so yay! Some of that hair that I have lost, they're coming in crazy little, fine little strands everywhere. I'll drop a quick little picture that I took this morning after my run of all of the loose little baby fine hairs that are starting to grow in. NSVs, I finally got to jump on the trampoline. I jumped on the trampoline, and this was actually 2 weeks ago. It was on my birthday. That was my birthday wish, was to jump on the trampoline with my kids, and I did it. That was a goal that I set for myself. In a video that I recorded right after I had weight loss surgery that just listed some random goals, such as wearing a dress again and running with friends again and jumping on the trampoline with my kids. So I'm excited to check off that non-scale victory. Also, I went shopping yesterday again. I bought a new pair of jeans. I actually have them on right now. And they're size 4s. I love being a size 4. This is like, it's mind-blowing to me to be a size 4. It's crazy. I always thought I'd be around a 6 or 8, and I love it. I'm loving that I'm wearing these brand new size 4 jeans. Today I had a great run with my girlfriend, 21 miles. I am coming up on my next marathon to Vermont in the middle of May, and it was an awesome run. I felt strong, I felt great. We had a lot of hills built in, and it was just the two of us, and we got to conversate through the entire run. It was super therapeutic, and I was really, really proud of myself at the end of it because we kept an average pace of 9 minutes 52 seconds. Some miles were faster, some of the hills were slower, and I was just really, really proud of myself to be able to maintain for 3.5+ hours and run side by side by one of my besties. Keep fighting the good fight. You may see me struggle, but you'll never see me quit.